Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam, he's D. We are back for another Straight Up MUFC and we have got a bit to talk about today. I was going to say loads to talk about. We haven't got loads to talk about, but we're going to make some things to talk about. We're going to talk about Pogba and Bruno because Solskjaer has been asked about that. We're going to talk about potential signings and we've got some questions from the Discord where the members have been getting in a few of their questions for me and D, so we'll have a few of them as well. And whatever pops up in the next 20 to 30 minutes, me and D will discuss. How you doing, D?
Yeah, man, good, innit? It's a nice sunny day. I got my blind down again, innit? Because this will just rev up my screen, but it's blessed, innit? Not that it makes a difference, but it's bank holiday, innit? So
it doesn't feel like it, does it? I used to love Easter and May time because you get so many bank holidays, like weekends where you can do certain things. There usually be a lot of sport going on at the moment, and it's just dead out here, isn't it? It's like it's nothing happening.
But UFC's on tomorrow, innit? Like, if anyone
is it though?
Well, that's what they're saying it. But I'm not getting excited because Trump's probably gonna come last minute and just lock it off, innit? And just like what I think Angela Merkel.
Trump's his mate, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but someone put pressure on Trump on it. I know they did with the Bundesliga, and the Bundesliga was coming back on next week. Then they pushed it back another week, so it wouldn't surprise. I'm not getting my hopes up, innit? Like,
because this was gonna go ahead, and then it wasn't gonna go ahead, and then Khabib got stuck in Russia, and it's been all over the place. Now they've got the card set up, but I'm still skeptical about whether it happens, and we're a day away, which is weird. Yeah. So it must be about to happen. Surely we would have known otherwise. Are the weigh-ins happening today?
I think the weigh-ins are happening now. I'll tell you the truth, but again, I'm not.
How do they work?
I don't even know, man. Like I seen yesterday, I seen some clips of the fighters getting tested for corona. But the thing is, if they're getting tested if they're getting tested yesterday, if someone comes up as positive, then it could be all clattered, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
And that to be honest, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for someone to say, "Oh, they're tested positive." And then
but I imagine they've been thoroughly tested throughout training camp. It wouldn't have been their first test.
I don't think they have. Like, I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough tests in it. Like, like. I know, obviously, before when they're in camp, they're not under UFC's control. But obviously, when they go to the venue, obviously UFC will look after them, and I think that's who's organising the tests and stuff. Like, but it'll be interesting to see because obviously UFC obviously is a one-man sport. But if they could pull this off, like, but again, you're talking with football.
What do you think of Project Restart? There was a letter recently that was released by the Premier League club doctors, which said they couldn't give the go-ahead to something that had the risk of death. And these are the doctors from the Premier League clubs, which obviously are part of a group. Do you think we'll see football returning anytime soon?
I don't. Well, like I say about UFC, I can't see that happening. But with the football, even just any employment, if there's a pandemic, and like I say, this is as real as what they're saying, and it can kill people. Playing football, as important as football may be to you or I or whoever, even players. It's in the grand scheme of life, it's not that important, isn't it? Like, so if you're gonna risk your life to put in a tackle on someone or touch someone, or I think I heard someone saying that the players are gonna be banned from spitting and stuff, and it's like that's I don't think people even intend to spit, but I think it's just something that happens, and I think even little things like that, you're not gonna be able to police this. I just don't. And especially to keep it in line with, like I say, if 22 players are allowed to run around on a football field, I surely should be able to go around my people's house or go to, I don't know, like somewhere where there's a group of people there, and it's like, obviously, I think if football comes back, I think it sets a bad example that people are able to kind of be in around other people and it's safe.
And if I know it's the money involved and the testing, but then you say there's a moral issue. If there's not enough tests going around the public, how can you then test players every single day or week or whatever it is? There's this thing with policing and not policing in general, but more, emergency services being used. And is that morally right? And there's loads of different questions that come into it. And there's so many different hurdles they got to get over before we see football. Ollie was talking about something recently, and one of his quotes come out where he says he would not force any Manchester United footballer to play if they did not feel mentally ready. And I think that's one of the things that's not being taken into consideration is if we see this go ahead, like the Premier League make a decision, are they taking into consideration every single player's opinions on it. So then are we going to see maybe some clubs have certain players that don't turn up, or it's a bit of a weird one.
That's what I mean. I mean, I think it was Emil Heskiasin that suggested that because I think he's got a sickle cell trait, and I think he said I think his kids have got it, and I think obviously, well, again, if you listen to the news, they're saying black and mixed ethnicity people are more susceptible to get it. Obviously, maybe not so much for the players, but obviously then when they're looking at their families, it's going to impact their decision. And like I say, I think Emil Heskey said if he was given the option, he said he wouldn't play. So you can only imagine that some players are going to potentially mirror the same thing. And should they be kind of looked down upon if they do say that? Because if you listen to the government advice, this is a direct risk to your life. So you can't really wrong anyone if they do say I don't want to play, or like for whatever reason. Like I say,
and even when the lockdown is lifted, if it's lifted or whatever, there's going to be some people that still won't go out for a bit. 100%. You know what I mean? They'll be like, yeah, fuck this, I'm not on it. And it's still going to be the case with footballers as well. And just because they're well paid, it doesn't mean they're going to be free from fear or free from, a lot of these look after their family members. They have entourages with them, especially if they come from another country. So they'll bring their mom and their dad and their wives. So you've got like probably a mixture of people in that household, young, elderly, etc. They're not going to, are they able to live with them? Are they going to be happy to be living in a hotel for 2 months? Like it's a madness, man. It's absolute madness. Solskjaer was also talking about Pogba and Bruno, and we also had this question in the Discord from Nomad PSN. So thank you to Nomad for joining us. Thank you to everyone that has joined us. We're close to 50 now. If you want to find out more, click join. But in the Discord, he said, "How would the team line up with Pogba and Bruno if Pogba stays?" And the quotes from Solskjaer was, "Good players can always play together." And he's looking forward to getting them back together on the pitch again. Not again, for the first time. So it's a big yes, he said. They can definitely play together. I think it's exciting. We do have an exciting squad. I've got Scott, Fred, and Nemanja. There's many games coming up, and I'm sure we can find a good connection between them. We've been discussing that as a coaching team, of course, and we're looking forward to it. How do you think we will line up with Pogba and Bruno available? They both start, right?
Well, I mean, we had this a couple of weeks ago, and I said, what is it? McTominay, Fred, Pogba, and then I was suggesting, obviously, you've got to probably put Bruno in somewhere else, like probably set not James's position on the pitch, but James's squad, like his starting position. Like, yeah. So, but obviously, you said as well that.
So, are you suggesting a diamond then?
You suggested that. I was suggesting more
because you're not going to play Bruno out wide, are you?
Not out wide as such, but I'd play him in more of a forward role. But saying that, he does. He liked when he first came to us. I say that like he's been here for ages, but he kept coming short, like coming deep for the ball. So I don't know if that would work. So
there was a game as well. I can't remember which one particularly, but he played in a deeper position in midfield. Yeah. And I think he's is very comfortable in that position. I think you get probably, Matic or McTominay or Fred with Bruno and Pogba in a midfield three, personally. Away from home, Matic or McTominay. At home, McTominay or Fred with Bruno or Pogba ahead of him. But I totally see that diamond could be a possibility because you can have your Matic or your McTominay in that deeper position. You can have Pogba on the left in his favoured position. You can then bring Fred or whoever in at that position. And then you've got, in the diamond, Bruno Fernandes. Him and Pogba could also switch. So that diamond, you're then able to play Rashford and Marshall up top, who can, if Bruno's in the diamond and them two drop out wide, Bruno's not shy in terms of pushing forward into that space and almost becoming a false nine at times. Not that it would be a permanent position, but in transition, it could be. So you could see that working, the 4-4-2 diamond with Rashford and Marshall, but you would see a return to two up top, which is you don't see much in football anymore. But then at the moment, and we're purely looking at before any potential summer signing, because if you bring Jadon Sancho in, that it changes. At the moment, we haven't got much width, have we?
No. well, there's James there, but I mean, going back to your point with Pogba and Bruno, I just want to see them. As much as I've said, like I said before, I said maybe the three in midfield without Bruno, but Bruno there. I do want to see Pogba and Bruno in the same team because it's funny because I'm guessing you've seen obviously Bruno got put in. I think it's the BBC's team of the year or something. Like that's mad. But I think if you put them two together, I think Pogba's been crying out for players who are on his kind of wavelength technically, and I think Bruno's definitely on that level. And I think if obviously I think Pogba he would improve with better players around him. I think Bruno's a better player, and I think if they play together, I can't wait. Obviously, I can't wait for football in general, but to see them link up could be nuts. Like in the midfield because they're both super tidy. You know what I'm saying? They're both.
Sorry to cut you off. I feel like remember when Matic Herrera Pogba when Oli came in. I feel like Bruno's almost a better version of Herrera as well. And if that midfield worked well, why can't this one?
Yeah, that's a good shout. That is. Right. Hopefully, we can get them all to gel together. But I am confident that I think they will work well together. But obviously, time will tell, I suppose. And because again, not to compare let's compare Pogba to Gerrard and Lampard. But you remember when England had the Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard.
Yeah.
On paper, that sounds incredible, but it never works. But I'm quite positive about Pogba being able to link up with Bruno. I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, same. I'm excited about that one. Obviously, it looks like they're probably going to try and force some behind closed doors football, so we probably get to see it for however long we get to see it. Who knows? But in those two players, you have two of the best midfielders in the Prem. Not going to say they're the best two because they're not, and there's some competition in there. But you have two of the best players, and arguably they get into any team in the Premier League as well.
Yeah. It's mad because on paper our midfield is half insane, really. Like I said, with the research. Well, I said the resurgence of Fred, but Fred improving. McTominay is obviously he's only young and he's doing well. But on paper, I think you could argue we've got the best. You could argue we've got the best midfield on paper in the Prem, but it just blows my head that a midfield with Jordan Henderson's just absolutely been storming the league, innit? But
true. Shows you what a good coach and good setup does.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Recreator says if Oli hadn't come in and helped us out after Mourinho, who would you have had as a caretaker manager or manager?
If Oli didn't come in, I mean, I said at the time, I said Pochettino, but I mean, as much as I do like Pochettino, I do like his style and that, but when you actually look at what he's done, when you compare him to certain other people, I mean, I've seen Howson speak a lot about Pochettino, and he's not a massive fan. And sometimes I do agree with what he says. And even myself, if I was the owners of Man United, it's like you could think, yeah, we get Pochettino in, but in reality, he ain't actually won anything. And although he just plays nice football, he's done what he's done at clubs with a lot less pressure. And then, like I say, you look at the squad that we actually have. The squad is poor, so unless he was going to look.
I hear that. I agree as well. Poch would have been my choice. He wouldn't have came in as caretaker, obviously. And caretaker manager's a weird one. Who you would have been coming into that? You possibly would have seen Nicky Butt maybe because he was at the club. On a short-term basis, I don't really know beyond Solskjaer. I imagine they probably would have looked for a permanent choice quite quickly and just left someone in there, Carrick or McKenna or someone, like they did last time with Giggs. But yeah, Poch would have been the one for me. I disagree with some of what Howson says because I don't agree that you need trophies to say he's a good manager because I believe with what he did, it was very good. But then I agree as well, he did it with less pressure for a different club. But I think if you look at his transition in his managerial career, he's always got better and better. He's always worked within the constraints he's had to, and he's always done well. And that kind of tells me then if you give him a little bit more free rein, maybe he will do better. But it's always a risk. Everything's a risk. Solskjaer was a bigger risk in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. But my thing is, it's like again, you could get Pochettino, and this is why at the time I said it's like I wouldn't want the decision to be deciding who's the next manager because on paper, like I say, Pochettino to me, he ticks all the boxes. But like I say, so did Jose Mourinho. Like Jose Mourinho, like for me, I thought was just good, would come in, and then especially after the first season, I thought we'd kick on. Didn't happen. You can put some of that probably down to lack of investment, etc. And it's like I just think the same. It could be if we have got even now with Solskjaer, like the way they stumbled across him, but we could have got Pochettino and literally be no further forward than we are with Jose. So I don't know. I mean, like I said at the time,
I think Poch would have went on a similar journey in terms of not necessarily results or things like that. You can't predict that, but in terms of doing what he's done with the squad, I think he would have went on a similar journey, like giving Rashfords, the Marshalls, the Greenwoods a chance, giving, maybe letting a few players go that didn't. I think he would have done that, but who's to know? And I think what Ollie's done has been great as well. And another one of the questions, I've kind of chatted about it this week on Master Debaters, but I'll ask you because you went on this week's show. Glenn says, how long do you think Ollie will get to win the league? Well, it's a different question. We asked, do you think he can win the league? But how long do you think he will get to win the league? And does he need to win some silverware to keep getting more time?
I think obviously Ollie knows himself, and obviously United we need to win trophies. So I think he's not under any guise that he can stay in a job without winning trophies. But to be honest, it's mad because like I said, I wasn't real pro Ollie at the start, but like I say, a lot of the things he's done, I don't think a lot of other people would have done. Certain personally got rid of instantly. I don't think he'd have done. And like I say, his signings I think have been bang on. Like I say, Maguire is expensive, but yeah, we needed him. Wan-Bissaka's been quality. Fernandes has been a masterstroke, really. Like you put Mason Greenwood. You said they Pochettino had played him. I don't know if he'd have played him as often as Ollie has. And Ollie, there's not that much hype around him outside of probably Manchester, I don't think. But if you look at the numbers Mason Greenwood's putting up, really, he's probably the hottest teenager in the world, really, isn't it? Like,
one of them, yeah. If not I think he's the best at his age.
Looking at where he's put us now,
and you got Ansu Fati's doing well as well for Barca.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm optimistic to tell you the truth under Ollie. So even if I don't know if he don't get us there, I think he's gonna put us in a position where maybe someone else can kick it on. But like the nucleus is there. Like I say, like if he left tomorrow, you look at if you look at what he's leaving us, like with Maguire, Pogba, through Bruno, Rashford, Martial in the form that they've been in. James is.
All right, I'll give you a free £10 bet on this. It's the same odds. They're both evens. Yeah. Ollie wins the league at United. Yes or no? What would you put your money on? Free £10 bet. The odds are the same.
What are we talking? What time are we talking? Like he's got 2 years in the job or something. Like I think
will he win the league for Man United? That's what I'm asking you.
I think he could, yeah.
So you put your money on him winning the league?
If there's no time limit on it, yeah, I'd say he could. I think he could win it, especially with, like I say, if you build off that midfield is ridiculous, really. Like, so I'd probably. I think. Like I said, then I think if he left tomorrow, I think someone's in a good position to try and challenge with that team. Like,
I think someone's in a position to build like three. Gary Neville said we need 4 or 5 signings to be in a position to challenge Liverpool.
I don't know. Like I said, our midfield is better than Liverpool's, isn't it? On paper, I know paper don't really mean nothing, but if we can transfer that to the pitch, like in a game,
I think defensively their midfield's better than us.
Yeah.
Defensively,
yeah, you got obviously they've got a good attack as well, but I'm just confident. I think again, when we've played Liverpool, we've not looked out of sorts under Ollie anyway. Like we've not looked like flipping. We're out of our depth on that playing the Scousers, and that ain't happened. So,
do you agree with Gary Neville? Could we challenge for the title next season with the right signings?
100%. Leicester challenge, Leicester won the league. You know what I'm saying? So anything is possible in it, but. I know obviously the comparison's a bit mad, but in terms of if everyone in our team consistently plays a 7 or 8 every week, like you'll be up there, innit? That's what I think. Like, and I think if I think a lot of the pressure probably falls on the front men, but you need a striker who's putting 25, probably 20 to 25 goals in the Prem away each season. If Rashford turns around and does that next season, then you challenge him, mate. Like he's gonna drag you there, innit? And like I say, if we get Martial to chip in with a lot of goals and Bruno, Pogba chips in with goals, there's goals there, and our defense ain't looked that bad. So I think you should be challenged 100%, really. And like, I don't know if the lockdowns get into me or something, and I'm just going, you know, like I don't know, but like that's the way I see it. And
when you look at it on paper, when you like, if you were a football manager and someone gave you that team, you'd identify a few areas. If you were given 200-300 million to spend, you'd probably fill those areas. You could probably do it with less. But if you fill those positions, you've got no excuses for why you shouldn't be winning most weeks.
You should be challenging them. Like if this is Football Manager and you've got the squad that we've got now,
I won the league.
That first
seriously, I got this squad. I bought Jadon Sancho and Thomas Partey, and I won the league. That's Football Manager is very easy nowadays, though.
But I'm saying that that conversation with the board at the start when they're talking about what's the aims. If you ain't saying the league, if you ain't saying challenging for the league, mate. If you're the owner of that club, bro, you're probably saying this probably ain't the right job for you, mate. Like, that's what I'm from the top looking down. I'll be thinking, bro, you should be challenging. Like I said, Liverpool, like I say, they have had certain men who just been playing out of their, playing way above their level. Like people like. I don't think he's dug up trees, but Henderson that's been playing at a higher level than what's probably expected of him. If we get players who are doing that, we get the fringe players, your Lingards and that, putting in good performances, then I don't see why not, innit? Like,
that's the thing at the moment is depth. I'm adding a little bit of depth, adding a bit of quality in the right areas. Right wings a must. We have to get a right winger sorted. Another one of the questions that we had, where's that gone now? Oh, I've lost it. But it was in regards to Daniel James. If we didn't sign Sancho, would you be confident with Daniel James? Because Ali says he's happy with the squad as well. He says he wants to improve it, but he also says he's happy with the squad.
Daniel James is too one-dimensional, and he ain't really got that much in his, like when he's going down a wing, he's not got any trickery. I don't think he's got a great ball. He's got to improve his final ball in terms of his.
He had most assists for United in the league, but a lot of them came earlier in the season.
Yeah, but again, I think that's more of an indication of how poor our wing player has been, and how poor like we ain't had Pogba there and stuff. But he's all right, isn't it? He's going to improve, but I think again, you look at the other teams, you look at their wings who they've got on the wing. I think what James does offer us especially in away games, is because of his pace. He stretches. He allows us to stretch teams, and obviously he's rapid, so we can the transition from defense to attack can be rapid. But I just think against the top teams like your Cities, your Liverpool, or Arsenal or whatever. Well, I don't know why I said Arsenal, but you know what I'm saying. But against them teams, I think you do need to be more clinical in the final third. And I just think a player like Sancho, I think we need against the top teams, we need someone who's more good in possession and who can probably trouble their defense a bit more than what Daniel James can do. But to be even fair to him, the man's come from Swansea straight to the Championship to the Premiership, like at the most high pressurist team there is, and we're just expecting him to just tear it up and which is,
and he did well at the start.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, even him, I've said it before. I don't think Daniel James expected to play as much this season as he has. But he has
battered him, to be fair, this season.
Absolutely, he should have been rested a bit more, but because of our lack of squad, he ain't been able to. But
and you probably, with his attributes, you probably get a better player if you're able to rest him more as well. Yeah. And I think he's perfect. This isn't a disrespectful thing to him. I think once we get Jadon Sancho, if we get him, Daniel James then becomes doubly more important as like an impact player. A squad rotation player, but that impact from the bench with that pace, I don't think people can fuck with that. Tired legs against that, it's danger, man. It's danger. So I think he can contribute to this team. I think he was a shrewd signing, to be fair, for 15 mil.
Yeah, that's not, even obviously I don't think we're selling, but you know, like you'd get your money back from him straight away. But he's been good on it, but I just think with too much expectations been put on him because of how he started, and like I say, because of our lack of quality out wide. But I think to challenge, I think you need more quality in it. And
Solskjaer's also been quoted as saying he's happy with the squad. What do you think about that?
Well, like I say, I'm happy with the squad to an extent. Like I say, like since the addition of Bruno, and if we keep Pogba, then I'm happy with that. To be honest, I think, like I say, on paper we have got a decent squad. Like, you know, obviously we got the addition of Igalo if he stays as well. We got extra options up top. I think we can cause people problems. Like that's why I'm confident in it. Like I say, if this
is what he actually said. We're always looking to improve the squad. This uncertainty in the market now, who knows how football in the market is going to be. But I'm very happy with the squad I've got. I think Mason, Anthony, and Marcus have been fantastic this season. They've scored up to 50 goals between them. Marcus got his injury, on course for his best season. Anthony too. And Mason, of course, is just a unique talent with goal-scoring ability.
Yeah, it's mad because obviously when we had the chat last week and I said about the signings and I said Jimenez, and obviously after I was thinking about it, and I was thinking obviously as much as I do like Jimenez, but I was thinking then when I left this or whatever, I was thinking the effect that would potentially have on Mason, because I was thinking like I say, when you look at his numbers, the geezer's hot for what was he 18? You know what I'm saying? It's like
I think someone found a stat when I think it's only R9 scored more goals than him at that age.
I think in
his breakthrough season.
Yeah, I think it's like Lewandowski. Like all these players have scored a lot less. And like I say, and
he only had half a season.
That's what I'm saying.
We still have a quarter.
He's not playing in a massively great side. Like a team has been performing well, and he's done well. And like I said, I was thinking about it when I left, and I was just thinking like if we did get like another striker, it's going to impact his progression, and I wouldn't want that really, because the sky is the limit with Mason Greenwood, I think. And I've been looking back on some of his goals. Some of his goals are ridiculous for a young guy to come in and just start dumping on man like the way he has been. And so I don't know. Like I said, I'm confident. You look at the squad really, and everyone's going to get older. Everyone's going to improve. Like I said, I'm confident in it. Like,
I share your confidence, and I hope it's not just because we're going nuts in lockdown. And the last 11 games were positive, weren't they? We're going into games against City, confident, beating them. We're winning games, scoring goals, keeping clean sheets. It was easy to feel positive, and I was kind of glad that when it ended, imagine it could have ended so much worse. We could have lost against City. It could have been feeling real down. We're all talking about Poch every single day and week, and it would have been real negative. So it's good to have that feel-good factor. Hopefully it continues into next season, whenever that may be, because it definitely feels good at the moment. Dean, anything else you want to chat about before we wrap this up?
Well, I mentioned it earlier, but obviously the Bruno in the BBC team of the year, I thought that was a bit funny, to tell you the truth. Like, it's like Pogba, not, I don't want to keep comparing back to Pogba, but like Pogba would never get such grace, like a couple good games and
he was in the PFA team of the year though last year, Pogba.
Oh, it was based on the whole season, and he wouldn't get that based on like.
Yeah, he wouldn't get that based on 3-4 games.
Yeah, that's insane, man. If he was in the BBC anyway.
I think it was a fans vote. So that probably explains it. It's the only one we really could have squeezed into one of those positions. But yeah, that was funny. Follow Dean on Twitter at Straight Up D, all one word. Make sure you subscribe to Straight Up as well. We're going to do a podcast for them next week, we promise. We've now hit over 500 subscribers, so thank you. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, joining. Get all your thoughts in below on today's topics. And Dean, final words, bro?
I don't even know. But the only thing I would say is, obviously, if you do want this other content on Straight Up, and tell us what to talk about, because some of the topics I'd be thinking about are probably a bit too deep in it, but we need some talk away from football in it, because nothing will go on in it. But I'm on it, man. We do a podcast or something in it. Like,
yeah, so get your questions in for the Straight Up podcast, and we'll have a go on that next week. But for now, thank you for tuning in. Keep it locked. We're out of it.